Alright, so today I want to show you how I prune these tomatoes. And what I do is, you can see this is the highest fruit on the plant. I trim all the branches from here all the way up. And it's important to know what branches to trim. So if you look here closely, this branch right here has dark leaves. There's no fruit coming on it. There's no blooms. This is the kind of branch that you're going to want to take off of there. But you only want to do that below the fruit. You let the rest of them come, and then as you pick the fruit, then you can take the branches on as you come, as you work your way up. Now you can see that the whole bottom of this plant is bare. I've taken everything off because I don't need it anymore. It's just taking away energy from the plant, and I want the energy to go into growing the fruit and get bigger tomatoes out of it. Another important thing is called taking off the suckers. This here is a sucker. So if you look here, this is your main stem right here, your main branch or your main plant. And here's the dark leaf I was talking about a second ago. And then in the crotch of the plant and the branch is a sucker that grows out of the between the two. And you want to just snap those off. And they come in the summertime, they come a lot, and they come every day. You have to go in there and take these things off, and these will grow into a completely another plant. So that's going to take a lot of energy away from the plant and your tomatoes, so make sure you take those off. Another thing this does, the jury might be still out on that, but taking off the leaves makes the plant think that there's a deer eating it or something, so it's going to say, hey, we need to put some seeds down into the ground and reproduce. So it helps them to ripen up. And I from my experience, I believe it's true, because when I come and take them off and I take the suckers off, usually the next day I'll see a lot of red tomatoes the very next day. So I think that's probably, anyways, from my experience, like I said, is probably true. But you can try it for yourself and see what you think. Some people just let them grow wild. You can, like I said, this will be another plant. If you let this sucker go, you could let it grow wild, and that'll have all new tomatoes on that, and you'll get another one in the next crotch, and and so on. And people do that. People let their gardens just go. But in this setting I have here in the greenhouse, I don't want them to get overgrown, so I continually just train them to go where I want them to go, and it makes it easier to pick, easier to see the tomatoes, because they can hide on you if there's stuff overgrown everywhere. So yeah, that's pretty much what you want to get accomplished when you as it's growing through the season. You want to get all these things off of there. So that's some helpful tips. So there is an exception to every rule, right? So these are cherry tomatoes, and cherry tomatoes I leave the suckers on, because you don't want big cherry tomatoes. You're not trying to put all the energy into a big fruit. So I leave the suckers on, and you'll get more tomatoes that way. So if you have anything, these are a little bit fatter than cherry tomato, but these things here are doing quite well, and I've just left them alone and let them do what they want. It's a little unruly, and sometimes I do gotta, you can snip some of the flowers off, or they get into the aisle or whatever. But ultimately, you're going to get more cherry tomatoes or small tomato varieties that you're going to grow by leaving the suckers on there. So in a greenhouse setting, it's a little bit difficult, but if you're doing them outside, put aside a big area, because they're going to go crazy on you, and you're going to want to have a lot of space for them to just stretch out, because it's really difficult to manage these things. So hopefully you find those tips helpful, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching.